Once upon a time, there was a man named John. He had inherited a banana farm in a rural town after his uncle passed away. John was initially excited about the prospect of starting a new chapter in his life, but things took a dark turn soon after he arrived at the farm. As John explored the farm, he noticed that something was off. The air was thick with an eerie silence, and the trees seemed to be twisting and writhing in an unnatural manner. John's farm hands were jittery and kept looking over their shoulders as if they were being watched. One night, John was awakened by a strange noise outside his window. He got up and peered through the curtains, but the darkness outside was impenetrable. Suddenly, he heard a loud thud, followed by a piercing scream. John grabbed his flashlight and ran outside to investigate. As he approached the banana grove, he saw something that made his blood run cold. One of his farmhands, a young man named Miguel, was lying on the ground, writhing in agony. His face was twisted in terror, and his eyes were rolled back in his head. John rushed over to help, but when he got closer, he saw that Miguel's arms were covered in black, sticky goo. It was as if the bananas had come to life and attacked him. John called for an ambulance and rushed Miguel to the hospital. The doctors were baffled by his condition and could not explain the black goo on his arms. Miguel slipped into a coma and never woke up. The incident shook John to his core, but he refused to give up. He had invested too much time and money in the farm to abandon it now. He hired a team of investigators to find out what had happened to Miguel. The investigators discovered that the farm was built on the site of an ancient burial ground. The spirits of the people buried there were angry that their resting place had been disturbed. They had possessed the banana trees and were using them to exact their revenge on anyone who trespassed on their land. John was horrified by the revelation. He had unknowingly disturbed the resting place of the dead, and now they were after him. He knew he had to do something to appease their spirits and stop the attacks on his farmhands. John consulted with a local shaman who suggested a ritual to placate the spirits. John followed the shaman's instructions, and soon the attacks stopped. The banana trees stopped twisting and writhing, and the air returned to its normal state. John's farm continued to thrive, and he eventually forgot about the terrifying incident. However, the spirits were not appeased for long. One night, John woke up to find that the black goo was oozing from his own arms. The spirits had come back for their revenge. John tried to fight back, but it was no use. The spirits were too powerful. In the end, John was dragged into the grove by an invisible force and never seen again. The banana farm remained cursed for years, and no one dared to enter it after dark. The spirits of the dead still roamed the land, seeking revenge on anyone who dared to disturb their resting place. John's fate served as a warning to others not to meddle with forces they did not understand.